Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating, a philosophy based on Maryam Al-Dakhil's work, How to Become Rich in 40 Days. You know, when most of us hear the word wealth, we immediately picture, spreadsheets, stock markets, and heavy investments. But what if true wealth is actually about deep psychological reprogramming? Throughout history, humanity has constantly chased financial security, just looking for that comfort and the sweet life that money provides. Yet for so many of us, it's still a massive struggle. Well, this explainer is going to show you that wealth isn't just about what's in your wallet, it is entirely about what is happening inside your mind. Let me hit you with a pretty blunt question right off the bat. Do you love money? Seriously, think about it for a second. You don't have to say it out loud, but just answer honestly in your own head. The source material presents a pretty stark reality here. If your answer is yes, you are on a paved road toward financial freedom. But if your answer is no, or if you even felt a tiny twinge of guilt, like maybe you pictured some cartoon villain hoarding gold, you are actively choosing to stay exactly where you are. A negative or fearful relationship with money essentially locks you right into a cycle of poverty. You just cannot attract what you inherently dislike or fear. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll look at the 40-day wealth plan. Then we'll compare the conscious and subconscious mind. After that, we'll ask, are you a victim? Then we'll explore the power of desire. And finally, we'll wrap up with overcoming societal financial beliefs. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the 40-day wealth plan, setting the foundation for financial transformation. Now, you might be wondering, why exactly 40 days? Well, think about it. An open-ended goal? It rarely gets done. Having a defined, concise window gives us that much-needed focus. If a timeline drags on too long, human nature kicks in, and we just kind of lose interest. According to the author, 40 isn't just some arbitrary number they pulled out of thin air. It's actually anchored in a profound concept referenced in the Quran, highlighting the age of 40 as the point of ultimate mental maturity and true cognitive growth. So, by dedicating 40 days to this practice, you're aligning with a deeply rooted timeline for genuine personal evolution. And look, this whole journey requires a massive amount of personal responsibility. It's perfectly captured by that famous Bill Gates quote. It's not your fault if you were born poor, but it's your fault if you die poor. Pretty harsh, right? But it's true. The exact circumstances of your birth are completely out of your hands. But building wealth, that's a conscious choice. It's a flat-out refusal to passively accept your starting point as your final destination. To really grasp how deep this personal responsibility goes, we have to look at our daily habits, starting with our literal vocabulary. Take a look at this powerful quote from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It highlights the immense, real-world power of the words we speak. A seemingly careless phrase carries massive, massive weight. For example, if you casually joke and say, money is the dirt of the world, you are instantly revealing and reinforcing a poverty mindset. The wealthy deeply understand the psychological impact of their words on their social and economic reality. Your words are literally shaping your financial destiny. Moving on to section 2, conscious versus subconscious mind. This is the internal engine of wealth. The absolutely crucial point here is understanding this duality. Your conscious mind, that's your everyday logical state. It's what you're using right now to process what I'm saying. But your subconscious mind, wow, that is an infinite, limitless superpower. And its biggest secret? It literally cannot tell the difference between reality and imagination, nor can it distinguish between right and wrong. It simply accepts whatever the conscious mind feeds it. If you constantly feed it fear and anxiety about money, it will absolutely make poverty your reality. But if you feed it positive, healthy beliefs about wealth, it acts as this unstoppable engine to help you achieve it. So how do we actually tap into this superconscious superpower? We reprogram it. The book suggests a super effective method for this. Actively observe the wealthy. Seriously, just watch them. Watch how they view money. Pay attention to their specific beliefs and how they physically interact with their finances. By feeding your subconscious mind these new, successful patterns, you can effectively overwrite and replace your old, poor behaviors and those false beliefs. You are essentially teaching your internal engine a completely new way to operate. Which brings us to section 3. Are you a victim? It's all about taking control of your financial destiny. There is a night and day difference between two specific mentalities here. On one hand, you've got the responsible mindset. This person has a huge sense of capability. If they don't like their financial situation, they literally grab a wrench and get to work fixing it. On the flip side, The victim mindset. This person complains constantly, blames the economy for everything, gives in to sadness, and spends all their energy justifying their empty wallet. So ask yourself, which side best describes your internal monologue when those monthly bills show up? If you felt yourself leaning even a little bit toward that victim side, hey, don't worry. The author lays out some direct, actionable steps to break out of that toxic cycle right now. Number 1, stop blaming others. Number 2, stop complaining. Number 3, focus entirely on your internal state. And number 4, actively work to improve your relationship with money. These aren't just suggestions. They are the mandatory first steps to stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the architect of your own wealth.
Let's dive into Section 4, the power of desire. This is the absolute prerequisite for possessing wealth.
We really need to untangle these two terms. Desire is that internal will, that relentless burning drive to hit a goal. Possession, on the other hand, is the physical act of actually acquiring the thing and keeping it. Without that initial spark of desire, well, human existence just kind of drifts aimlessly. You simply cannot possess true wealth if you do not fiercely desire it first. Think of desire as the giant magnet that pulls possession right toward you. Because here's the thing, your level of desire directly dictates your reality. T. Harv Eker breaks this down perfectly in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. He says poor people desire just enough security to pay their bills. The middle class desires a baseline of comfort. But the rich, they desire luxury and lots of money. If you only aim to just scrape by and pay the bills, your subconscious will make absolutely sure you earn exactly that, and not a single penny more. To actually channel that elevated desire into real, tangible transformation, you need a solid sequence. Step 1, set clear, undeniable intentions. Step 2, know your original destination. Where exactly are you trying to end up? Step 3, execute good, practical planning. And step 4, trust in God, which is known as tawakkul. Basically, you do the hard work, you plan meticulously, and then you step back and trust the process and the universe to align with your efforts. And that leads us to our final part, Section 5, overcoming societal financial beliefs. We're dismantling cultural barriers to wealth. You know, so many of us are raised on foundations that actually promote a poverty mindset. Just think about these toxic cultural narratives we hear all the time. Wealth is just for showing off, or women don't have money, or only men possess the right to provide. These societal beliefs act as invisible chains. They actively prevent individuals, and especially women, by limiting their financial independence, from achieving the incredible wealth they are fully capable of. You have to systematically identify and absolutely smash these beliefs in your own life. So what's the grand takeaway from Maryam Al-Dakhil's whole philosophy here? Well, to smash through these internal doubts and societal barriers, you've got to do 3 things. You must fully commit to the idea of becoming wealthy. You have to dedicate your time entirely to making it happen. And above all else, you absolutely must give yourself permission to desire more. I'm going to leave you with a final provocative thought today. We've gone through the 40-day plan, the deep psychology, the sheer power of desire, and those sneaky societal traps. The knowledge is right here in front of you, so the choice is entirely yours. Will you spend the next 40 days actively rewriting your subconscious beliefs to build real wealth, or will you just remain a passive victim to them? The 40-day clock starts whenever you are ready. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks the exact transformation you've been looking for.